I know, you know. I know.
Together again after 2 long years, Samarjit and his dog Rave.
Aren't you happy?
Samar has not seen his beloved dog since he left him in Singapore and came to live in New Zealand. But their joy will soon turn to sadness. Rave's journey home is far from over. Samar has had a lifelong passion for animals. But his relationship with his dogs goes well beyond your average pet owner.
It's the way they love you, no one else can. It's totally pure, totally innocent. The most cruelest man, even Hitler, I'm sure his dog loved him.
In India, where Samar grew up, over 30 million stray dogs roam the streets. They live by scavenging food and kindness wherever they can.
On the way back from school or on the way to school, especially on the way back from school, and buy a little biscuit or something and feed them on the way. And that's how we make friends with the street dogs.
When Samar saw a puppy abandoned at a Mumbai shopping centre, he knew the dog would not survive without help.
He had his collar on and he was clean. He looked clean, not muddy and dirty like a stray dog. So we knew he was a house dog. And he was looking lost. He was following anybody whom he thought was probably smelled familiar or looked friendly. So then we took him home.
The dog he named Floyd would become part of the Jeet family. But it was a family that was not yet complete.
So a year later, the female dog of the area who had just littered, she was dead. She had been poisoned. And she was dead, all the pups had died. Rave was the only one who had survived. So it was obvious we couldn't leave him there because we knew he would die. So we just picked him up.
In 2015, Samar and his wife Aparna decided to move to New Zealand. Samar would study marketing and be closer to his dad Shri, already living in Auckland. Floyd and Rave would come too.
It might seem crazy to some people, but it's just that when I adopted, they didn't ask to be adopted. They'd have been fine. I don't want to die with regrets, and I would die with this regret that I didn't fulfill my responsibility that I committed to do for them.
But bringing a dog from India to New Zealand isn't simple. India has a rabies problem. So Floyd and Rave were sent to Singapore to spend 6 months in quarantine before starting their new life in Auckland. But in a cruel twist, only Floyd was allowed into New Zealand. Rave had tested positive for heartworm, a parasite that spreads to dogs through a mosquito bite. The worms can severely damage a dog's heart and lungs. After a long period of treatment, Rave was given a clean bill of health and allowed to fly to New Zealand. On a rainy day at a South Auckland quarantine centre, a nervous Samar is about to be reunited with Rave, the dog he hasn't held in almost 2 years.
He's finally arrived in Auckland. He's got just 10 days more in quarantine. He just arrived this morning.
So how are you feeling?
It's relieved, really relieved. I'm excited to see him. It's like, I hope he remembers me. I don't even know what he's been through over there, so I have a lot of making up to do. And yeah, I just wanna go see him. That's all. Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave. You remember me? You remember me?
So your hand is there, and then just push it.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Macha. Hi. Hi. Yes. I know. No, you can't go out. I know. I know. Oh, Miss so much. Aren't you happy? Oh. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. What's going on? This is a bite. Yeah, it looks like he's been in a fight. What happened? What was that? What was that? I'm so sorry. I wonder what he thinks, why he was left in Singapore. One of us will come here every day to calm him down. Just few more days, bacha, then you'll be home. Just few more days and you'll be home. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Oh my gosh, I was expecting the worst. Thought that he'd be in a much worse condition, lost weight, and he's looking great. He's telling the story also, and when you see the wound, no? He's telling the story. Yeah. I know, it must have been terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No more fights. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine.
Bye, bacha. See you soon.
Although Summer and his mother Mina know it won't be long until they can take Rave home, it doesn't make saying goodbye any easier.
Yes, that's better.
But a few days later, Summer receives shattering news when Rave is tested for heartworm again.
Friday I got a call from the local doctor and she was like, I'm sorry, it's positive. But don't panic, it's inconclusive because the blood is hemolyzed. So that was a shock. I was at work and I was like, I felt like I've been punched in the stomach, you know. So until we have a report that we're sure that there's no heartworm, he can't be released from quarantine. That's where it stands right now.
So Rave must be retested, his future now uncertain.
If it's positive, then we're in for another long haul, and that's just torture for him and for us.
Torture too for his finances. So far, he's spent $32,000 to bring his dogs here.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Have you ever had regrets about doing it?
No. And not about bringing the dogs over. Sure, I wish I had the money in cash. I didn't have to borrow it, you know. I regret debt.
While they wait for the outcome of Rave's retest, the family go to the kennels every day. Floyd can only wonder at what's going on.
Every time I come home or Dad comes home every day, like if Dad's gone to see Rave, then it's Dad. He gets Rave's smell. I'm sure he knows something's going on. He doesn't know what. And I've told him that Rave will be coming home soon. And but I'm not sure what he understands.
Floyd is still waiting. A few days later comes the worst possible news. Rave has tested positive for a second time, leaving Summer with two options.
Well, the exact words they said was the option that we have is to send back to the country of origin or to destroy. That's the word they used. So, so obviously sending him back to Singapore to get him treated. I'll be flying myself to go and put him in the hands of a good boarder. Also discuss the case with the doctor and make sure that everything is handled properly. Because last time I don't think it was handled properly. And when he is fully clear, fully recovered, and we have a negative test result, they have assured us that as long as he has a negative test result, he'll be allowed back to come back to Auckland.
The decision to send Rave back to Singapore will put even more pressure on a family whose finances are already stretched to breaking point.
Now another $26,000. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how we're going to manage. Obviously, this is money that we didn't have lying around. So to come here for my education as well as to pay for the dog's transit here, I had to borrow from the banks. We've mortgaged the house in India already. And I can't go back to the bank now. Whatever I'm going to earn from my job here, whatever my wife earns from her job here, whatever my dad earns, whatever we can borrow from friends and family, we're going to put into this. I'm going to post this up on Give a Little and ask people for money.
So Summer will take Rave back to Singapore for his next treatment, continuing the remarkable quest of a man willing to go to the ends of the earth to bring home his best friend.
I'm not looking forward to leaving him there at all. Oh, he's going to cry, he's going to howl, he's going to protest. But I found a good person. She's really nice. He's going to be in good hands. And yes, when he comes back, that'll be heaven. Now he has to go back again. I don't know what he's going to go through, but I'm not going to give up on him. He has to come home. And he has to come home. What kind of person would I be if I give up on him? He hasn't given up on me.